Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I am Rue, and today we are continuing on with my series where I'm using every single shade in every single palette in my collection, but today's a little bit different. I have one palette that's completely matte, and I recently acquired one palette that is completely shimmer, so I'm mushing them together in this video to use all the shades in both palettes so that I can still get my nice matte shimmer combo that I do love, because otherwise I don't think I would be able to include the shimmer palette as a dedicated palette. Could do the matte one, but I do love a little bit of sparkle. So the two palettes we are playing with today are going to be the Neon palette from Ditto Cosmetics, and look how beautiful this one is. It's so vibrant, and I do absolutely love this palette so much. I don't know the last time I dipped into this palette. I cannot wait to be playing with it again. Oh my goodness. And then if you've been here for a little while, I'm sure you already know what the shimmer palette is. I recently brought it into my collection, and that is the Efflorescence palette from Blendbunny. This is my only all shimmer palette, and I pull it in anytime I need an inner corner shade or just like a pop that's a little bit lighter than what a palette gives. So these are all really beautiful topper shades, and I'm so excited to combine these two palettes together. I think I'm going to create some really beautiful looks. This is look number one that I'll be creating with you guys, and I am so in love with how this turned out. So I can't wait to show you how I created this look, and I can't wait to see what other looks I create in this video for you. So yeah, with all that said guys, let's go ahead and hop into look number one. Alrighty guys, so starting with the mattes, I was thinking I wanted to go in with Lemon as like the transition shade all over the brow bone, and then we're gonna start with Light Bean, maybe Azure and Shy, and then I think I'm gonna pull in the dark blue navy and then maybe grape or purple, but let's just start with these four. So Lemon, Light Bean, Azure, Sky, just to get the ball rolling. We're gonna go into Lemon on the nice big fluffy brush, and I did already prime with my Morphe eye primer. Yeah, this is such a pretty yellow. I really like it. Nice and intense. Next, we're gonna go in with Light Bean, which is that green. It's kind of like a grassy green shade, and I'm gonna pull that all the way across, just a little bit less high up, but still pretty high. Just kind of doing an ombre effect between these two shades. And I went in with a slightly smaller fluffy brush. Still pretty big. And it's also a little more dense than the one I was using for the yellow shade. Next, let's go into Azure, which is that teal shade. And I'm going into an even smaller fluffy brush. And we're just gonna keep that on the inner part of the crease and lid, just here, and then we're gonna pull it around the inner corner to be on that lower lash line as well. That is such a pretty shade. Now let's go in. We're gonna use that same style fluffy brush, but a clean one, and we're gonna go into Sky, and we're gonna put that on. Since the shades that I'm using as shimmers are all toppers, we're gonna put mattes all over the lid just to start, and then we're also gonna put that in tight in that crease line. I don't want to pull this shade up too high. There is a lot of fallout in this palette, but the shades are still performing really beautifully. Like the pigment in these, it's basically feeling effortless. I know I'll have to clean up all that fallout, but the shades are so pretty. Now, do I want a purple or do I want that dark blue? I feel like we should probably use the dark blue, so navy. So we're just picking it up on this fluffy, dense-ish brush, and we're gonna pop navy on this outer edge. Maybe I can pop some purple on the lower lash line still though. Gosh, I haven't dipped into this palette in a long time, and part of it is because it was all matte. But now that I have an all shimmer palette, I feel like I'll get more use out of this palette as well. It is a really pretty palette. That is a really pretty eye makeup look in all seriousness. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. Now we're gonna clean up the fallout and do the lower lash line. Alrighty, I cleaned up the worst of the fallout. Now I'm just grabbing a tiny bit more of my Morphe eye primer, and we're just gonna prime that lower lash line. So I'm just picking it up on this angled brush. It's gonna be the same brush I'm gonna use to lay down the purple. Alright, so now that we got this primer laid down, we're gonna go in to the shade that's literally called Purple, and we're just gonna pop that all on the lower lash line. So just pulling that all the way across and getting it as close to the waterline as possible. I don't know what I want to put in my waterline yet. I think I have a purple that would work. When I get to that point, I will let you guys know. Now let's dip into some shimmers. So I was thinking I would put wax on my brow bone, and then I'm thinking I'll do lichen on my inner corner, and then on the lid I kind of want to go in with both Ripe and Loom. So Ripe looks like it's got a blue shift, Loom looks like it's got a bit of a purple shift, wax is yellow, and then lichen is green. So we're gonna play with that. So let's go ahead, we're gonna grab some NYX glitter primer, and we're gonna go ahead and just start with the inner corner, and I'm gonna keep it a little bit tighter than what the teal is, just so that you can still see the teal as well. And going into lichen, and we're just using this tiny brush for both the inner corner and the brow bone for the glitter primer as well as the shimmer. So just popping that. Ooh, oh, that looks so good. Now we're gonna go in with a little bit more glitter primer and just pop that on the brow bone. It's the same style of brush, it's just not the exact same one. And we're going into wax, the yellow shimmer, and just pulling that across that brow bone where the brow arch is. Now onto the lid. So I'm just gonna pick up a little bit more of that glitter primer just on my finger, and we're just going to pop it in that center of the lid. And we're gonna pop the blue on the inner part of the lid and the purple on the outer edge. So we're gonna go ahead and start with, I'm just trying to see the shift right, and just popping that over here, and then going into Loom also on a different finger. Oh, that looks so good. Now I'm just gonna touch up the teal shade that's around that inner corner with a bit of a pencil brush. Just lightly touching it up because it did brush away a little bit. Alrighty guys, that is all we're doing for eyeshadow for this look. So I'm gonna hop off, finish off the rest of the face, and then I'll come back and show you the completed look. But oh man, I'm obsessed. Alrighty guys, we are back with the completed look, and I am low-key obsessed. This is actually, I know it's being posted sometime in January, but this is my New Year's makeup look, and I love it. I feel so cute, so I can't wait for my friends to come over this evening and have fun and play some board games and have some drinks and all that good stuff. So to finish off this look, I went in with my e.l.f. Suntouchable primer along with my e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I haven't used this one in a hot minute. I've been working really hard to get that Wet n Wild one emptied out, but I did want to play with this one for today. Next up, I did go in with a cream blush from Cosmic Beauty. This is in the shade Mary. Then I went ahead and set my face using my Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder. This one is in Translucent. And then I did do a powder blush as well. This one is from Game Beauty. This one's in Noir, and I really do like this one. I think it's like topped over a pink cream blush. It's so cute. I've really been enjoying this one. Then for highlight, I went in with my Charmacy highlight that I recently got from an Eyescream Beauty Box. This one's in Illuminator, and it's so cute. It's got that little green shift, which I think goes really well with the eye makeup today. I did also throw on some gems. I think that's all I did off camera, and my eyeliner, of course. So for the gems, I get these little packs just off of Amazon. They're just little like craft gems, and then I use lash glue to glue them on. So I just do a little dot of lash glue and then boop, And that's how I do my gems. And then for my waterline, I went in with my ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. This one is in Piggy Bank, and I feel like it did match that purple pretty well. I did my mascara. This one is Zisa Beauty Waterproof Mascara. It's a navy mascara, and then I did put little Amazon lashes on over top. So it kind of has that navy mixed with the black lash. I think it looks really cute, even though obviously that's very subtle and you can't really tell. You probably can't even tell on the camera, but I thought it was really cute. I did also touch up my brows just using my e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I just do a little color it in and then brush it, and that's it for my brows. I also did use my Jason Wu Freckle Pen. I just had these two little blemishes here that couldn't fully cover with a light foundation, so I turned them into beauty marks. And I think it's a really cute touch. I know Angelica Nyqvist, she does those with her actual beauty marks. After she covers them, she retouches them up. So I was like, I'm gonna do that with these, and I think it looks cute. So that was that. And then finally for my lips, I went in with my Blendbunny Cosmetics Cream Matte Lipstick. This is my favorite formula in my collection now. I stocked up on the shades I could because I know it's going to be gone soon. And this one is in the shade Moody. I think it's really cute. It's so comfortable on the lips. I'm heartbroken she's getting rid of these. I hope she brings them back even better. But at the same time, I don't know if they'll be better because I love these. That, my friends, is the completed look. That's everything I use. So let's go ahead and see what magic we can make in look number 2. Alrighty guys, for look number 2, we're going to go in with some Morphe Eye Primer. So I'm just putting some on the back of my hand. I use about that much for both eyes. If I feel like I need to use a little bit more, I'll just grab a little bit more. But I just apply it with my finger. And then I usually don't do the lower lash line because I have to clean it up after all the fallout happens anyways. And then sometimes I use a glitter primer, sometimes I use a eyelid primer, although if I have a lot extra I'll just pull it under anyways. But usually I'll just skip the lower lash line until I get to it and then decide what I want to do with it. But today we're just putting it everywhere because I grabbed a little bit more than I needed. So I think for today's look we're doing like purples, pinks, and oranges, so kind of like a sunsetty vibe. So we're going to be starting with salmon, and then we're probably going to go into lake and brick next, but honestly I don't really know. So let's just start with salmon, and I'm just grabbing it on my biggest fluffy brush, and that's going up on the brow bone. All right, next let's go in. I think I want to put the pink one all in this inner part, kind of like I did the teal in the last look. So this one is called Agate, and I'm just picking it up on this smaller fluffy brush. I'm just gonna be placing it all around this inner corner, and I'm even gonna pull it up and kind of blend it into that orange. Now let's go into, I kind of want to go into the purple one next, right beside the pink, and then we're going to go into lake and brick out here. So on the same kind of fluffy brush that I picked up the pink with, I'm going into, I think the purple I'm supposed to use for today that I didn't use is grape. So that's what we're going to use. I accidentally picked up purple. And if I'm wrong, well, it is what it is. So I'm going into grape, and we're just gonna place that right beside the pink shade, just slowly layering it, making sure that it's fully opaque. And I'm also just working a little bit on that blend into the orange shade. I'm gonna go back in with that first fluffy brush just to work on that blend for the edges. Yeah, that looks so cute. Okay, now I think we're gonna start with lake and then go into brick. So I'm grabbing lake on this fluffy brush, and we're popping that right beside the purple and pulling it out. Not out, but up. And then brick is gonna go on the lid, so I'm not too worried about fully covering that. I just want this to be covering in that crease line. Now I'm going back into grape just to touch up how it's meeting with that orange shade, lake. What a weird, like, why is lake called, like, why is orange called lake, you know? I feel like lake would be a blue, even kind of a murky, almost brown here in Alberta. Now I'm going to go into brick. I feel Just on another fluffy brush. Honestly, these ones are just picking what I have available. I already used my favorite ones and I don't want to wipe them clean. And I'm just pressing it. I'm also going to pull this around to the lower lash line. I'll have to clean it up because it's a little bit more blown out than I would have liked, but that's okay. And I'm just touching up the blends into the purple. Now, that little spot that I left blank on the lower lash line, we're going to be using Carbon on, just because I need to use up the black, and I'm not really sure how else to do it. So I'm grabbing Carbon on this angled brush, and we're just going to press that into the center. I was about to say that's it, but we still have shimmers, so I'm going to clean up the worst of the lower lash line, just with a little bit of my makeup remover. Alright, so I believe I already used Wax, Lichen, Ripe, and Loom. So I was going to use Floret on the probably inner corner and pull it up into the lid as well. And then I'll probably also bring in Loom over the purple just a little bit. And then we'll put Bloom on the brow bone. Or should I also do Floret? Maybe we'll just do, wait, we need Bloom. Okay. This is hard. You know what? Let's go with Bloom on the lid, and then we'll go with Floret on the inner corner and on the brow bone. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of my NYX glitter primer if I can get any out. And let's just start with the lid. So I'm just popping that. I grabbed too much. Oops. Now I'm going into, I think I said Bloom, right? It's like an orange to pink shift. I think that'll work really well with this look. Oh, that's pretty. It is very much more pink though. I always think it looks orange in the pan, like it's supposed to be orange, but it always shows up pink. It's a very confusing shade for me, but it looks beautiful, so there's that. Because Floret's supposed to be the pink one, from what it looks like in the pan. It's very confusing. I'm just grabbing a little bit more of that NYX glitter primer, just on this teeny tiny brush. And we're gonna be popping that on the inner corner. I will pull it up to meet with that other shimmer in the lid here. And then same thing, just picking up a tiny bit more and popping it up in the brow bone. Okay, now grabbing Floret and just pulling that up and around this inner corner. And we're also going to use the same shade just on the brow bone. This is a lot more pink leaning than I intended, but I actually haven't done a look like this with these color combos, at least not in a long time, so it feels very unique for my makeup. I'm just intensifying this purple a little bit more. I kind of want it to be just a little bit more intense. This is really pretty. It's not what I was really expecting. That pink instead of the orange really shifted things, but I like it a lot. And that's the thing about makeup, is sometimes you just kind of have to have a bit of an idea, go with the flow, and then just roll with the punches if things kind of shift and change a little bit. That's kind of the fun in makeup though, is even if it doesn't turn out exactly what you envisioned, you can kind of just adjust as you go. And yeah, I really do like how this look is coming out. These two palettes complement each other really beautifully. I mean, duh, one's a rainbow shimmer and one's a rainbow matte. Of course they're gonna work well together, I guess, but yeah, I don't know, I just really like this. So yeah guys, that's all we're doing for eyeshadow. So I'm gonna hop off, do the other eye, finish the face, and then I'll come back and show you the completed look. Alrighty guys, this is the completed look. I love how it turned out, so let's jump straight into how I finished off the look. To finish off my eyes, I went in with my e.l.f. Lash and Roll Mascara, as well as my Wet n Wild Baby's Got Black eyeliner, my favorite black pencil eyeliner. I also did go in with one of my ColourPop Glitterly Obsessed. I just popped this on the brow bone shimmer. This one is in On Vogue. A couple of them are drying out. I need to go through them and try and use up the ones that are drying out. This is one of them. And then for my brow, I just went in with my e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in Brunette. I did this after my foundation and everything, but I'm just mentioning it here because I'm talking about the eyes. For my face, I went in with my e.l.f. Sun Touchable Primer, and then I went in with my Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator which I lightened up with my Wet n Wild color corrector in white. I also did do a cream, or I guess a liquid blush. This one is the Bratz collection from Beauty Creations, and it's an Unforgettable Night. It's just a liquid tint. And then I also did go in with a cream highlighter before setting everything down. This one is from Moonslice Beauty, and it is in Girly Pop. I also went in with my Wet n Wild loose setting powder. This one's translucent. Once everything was set, I went in with some more blush. This one is from Game Beauty. This one is in Panther. And I don't usually go for the bright blush, but I feel like it worked really well with this look. And then I did also end up going in with my Jeffree Star Cosmetics Platinum Ice Highlight Palette. I don't purchase Jeffree Star anymore, but I'm trying to use what I have. I went in with the pink chill one. I don't dip into this palette very often, but I feel like I should, just to get it as empty as I can. I did also go in with my Jason Wu freckle pen. I just put a couple little beauty marks on the face. And then finally for lips, I went in with this duo. These are both from the Game Beauty Persona 5 collection as well. I did the pink in the center, and then I did this like kind of mauve red kind of shade along the rest of it, and kind of just did a bit of an ombre effect. The pink shade is Milady and the mauve reddish shade is Carmen. So I used both of these on the lips. And that is everything I used to finish off the look. So let's go ahead and zoom out and we will finish up the video. Alrighty guys, I honestly expected to do 3 looks pulling both of these palettes in, but I managed to use every single shade in just 2 looks. Part of me is sad because I would love to do another look with these as a combo, which I will in the future, but I'm also happy to be continuing on with my series. I'm getting very close to the end of my list of palettes to do this with, and then I can start another series, which I am pretty excited to do. It's just my goal now to get all of the palettes off my checklist for this series so that it's just continuing on as new palettes come into my collection. So yeah, I'm a little sad because these looks are so beautiful and just in your face and so pigmented that I want to do another one, but it's okay. I'm gonna move on to another palette. And yeah, I could not tell you which my favorite look was in this video because they both turned out so beautiful in my opinion. If you had a favorite look, please feel free to let me know down below, and if you've tried any of these products, let me know what you think of them as well in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you want to see more content from me in the future, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I post 3 times a week typically, and I'm very makeup oriented. I love just playing with makeup. So yeah, if that's your vibe, feel free to hit that subscribe button. There's also a hype button that apparently can help out smaller creators too. If you want to press that, feel free. It would make my day. So yeah, with all that said guys, I can't wait to catch you in my next one. Bye!